so very warm welcome to the London Buddhist Centre. My name is Maitreya Raja, and I'm going to be hosting the evening here today with Kusalasara. So, so we've got a few minutes now, just as people gradually arrive to join us. At the moment, there's 5 of us here. So we've got Jay and Wayne doing the tech, and Vajra and Kusalasara here as well, and you'll be seeing Kusalasara a little bit later. So how many people have we got at the moment, Jay? Okay, so we've got 11 people joining us, have joined so far. So yeah, do write your name in the chat box and where you're from, and say hello to everybody. It's really amazing to be able to do this, really, sort of being able to have like a small evening of practice with a few individual people, but able to extend the invitation out of that out to many more. So has anybody said hello in the chat box there, Jay? If you can read out. Adrienne from County Clare in Ireland. Very warm welcome to you. Laura from Spain. Okay, so that's 2 countries already. And Anna from Portugal. Wow, a real international gathering. Fantastic. Any Londoners?
Bernadette's just joined us from London, but living in UAE.
Okay. Hi, Bernadette. Yeah, so just waiting another couple of minutes just to allow a few more people to join us for this evening of practice here from the London Buddhist Centre, in the London Buddhist Centre. It's been quite an exciting week this week. We've just opened our doors for the first time to the public for the centre. So we've been at a reduced opening hours and keeping socially distanced, but we've been open between 12 till 3 this week and hoping to gradually extend that over the coming weeks and months. Any more hellos, Wayne?
Yeah, we've got Seth joining us from Norfolk.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Sophia from just down the road.
Sophia, hi Sophia, our neighbour.
Darren's joined us from Cambridge.
Hi Darren.
And we've got Veronica just joined us from Essex.
Okay, hi Veronica. So yeah, really warm welcome to all of you. We've probably got about 15 or 16 people online with us now. We've got 4 or 5 of us here in the shrine room, so we're already at 20. So if you're at home, just do take this opportunity to set up your space. In a way, set up your own. We're in a sacred space here at the London Buddhist Centre. As you can see, the shrine behind me, we've got a beautiful shrine. There's candles lit, there's flowers. The whole place has been created to, with an aesthetic sensibility. And so, just sort of see if you've got your own shrine and you can light a candle in front of it, then do that. Or, just set yourself up so you're sitting comfortably. And in a moment, I'm just going to sort of, start, just say a little bit about this evening, and in fact, a little bit about the next 5 evenings, these 5 Friday evenings, and then we'll have an evening of practice together. Any more hellos, Wayne?
We have Mercia from Suffolk.
Hi, Mercia.
George Martin has joined us.
Hi, George.
We've got Maitreya from India.
Hi, Maitreya. Maitreya, you send an email almost every day. I'm the person who receives that email. You're so grateful, aren't you, for what we're doing? Very good to, you can see me, I can't see you, but I send you my warm wishes. Okay, so I'm going to make a start now. So how many do we have with us now? 25, so 25 online, and then 5 of us in the room. So there's going to be 30 of us doing a really good period of Buddhist practice with three different elements to it. So I'm quite excited about this. This is the first of a series of 5 weeks where we're going to be exploring a very sort of rich symbol, a very rich sort of conceptual idea in a way as well. We're going to be exploring the 5 Buddha Mandala, and we're going to be, in a way, on this evening, focusing more on the on it in terms of the symbolism. And on Monday nights, has started on the Monday night that just gone. They're going to be focusing more on the conceptual side of things. So you could come on Monday and Friday nights and get a really sort of thorough educational introduction into the 5 Buddha Mandala, which is a really important and rich Buddhist teaching. So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to have an evening. We're going to start off with a meditation. We're going to do the mindfulness of breathing practice, and I'll lead us into that practice and then just ring bells to mark the stages. So we're kind of assuming that most of you tuning into this particular class on a Friday night will maybe know a bit about meditation and maybe a bit about Buddhism, and also how to do ritual. But if you don't and you're just tuning in for the first time, well, just go with the flow and see what it's like. So you could, if you don't know how to meditate, you could just sit quietly at the beginning, and then there'll be a story to listen to, and then a talk to listen to, and then there'll be a ritual element which you can just join in with if you want to. So just do feel very free to be with the experience and join in as much as you want to. I know most of you have been tuning in to our online activities quite regularly over the last. It's been 5 months we've been with the coronavirus going on around the world, and I know a lot of you have been tuning in and will be very familiar with the practices that we do here. So so either way, really, you've given yourself the time and space to do a bit of dedicated practice. So now's the time. Yeah? So if you'd like to set yourselves up in your meditation posture, and Wayne's just going to dim the lights down, and I'm just going to guide us into a period of meditation practice. So really settling down into your meditation posture, feeling the full weight of your body flowing down into the ground, into the earth beneath you. Really seeing if you can settle into the space that you're in. You'll be able to hear my voice, but you'll also be able to hear sounds going on around you in your particular situations. Really seeing if you can use your imagination and having a sense of other people throughout Europe sitting down together to meditate. So we've got people tuning in from England, Spain, Portugal, island. And just feeling a sense of connection with other meditation practitioners. And just spending a little bit of time just noticing how you're feeling right now, what kind of week you've had and how that's left you feeling in the present moment. So you may be feeling tired or a bit irritable, a bit blank, dull, or you don't know how you're feeling. And if you don't know, just say don't know internally to yourself. Or you may be feeling reasonably well and content, happy and at ease with yourself. And within the heart of that experience is your own breath, your own breathing. And we're just going to spend some simple time being with our own breath. Feeling the rhythm of the breath in our body. Being with ourselves. The mindfulness of breathing practice. Okay, so really, really good to meditate with you all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Kusalasara, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Akshobya, who's one of these Buddha figures from the 5 Buddha Mandala.
Hello, hello. Excuse me while I get my paraphernalia lined up. Yeah, very nice to be spending the evening with you all. And just, the simple act of sitting in meditation with just a few of us here in the shrine room, and many of you out there dispersed across the globe. I'm going to be talking about the first figure in the mandala that we're going to encounter, called Akshobya. I'm going to start with a poem, actually. Start with a poem and then see where we get to this evening. This poem is called Above Me Broods, and it's by our teacher, Sangharakshita. Above me broods a world of mysteries and magnitudes. I see, I hear, more than what strikes the eye or meets the ear. Within me sleep potencies deep, unfathomably deep, which when awake, the bonds of life, death, time, and space will break. Infinity, above me like the blue sky do I see, below me lies a reflection of infinity. Yes, so we're in this series of 5 Friday evenings, which we're dedicating to the 5 Buddha Mandala. Now, this might not mean very much to some of you. You might even just think, well, there's just one Buddha, the Buddha. And in some ways, that's true. The Buddha is the Buddha. He's the first one to discover the way to enlightenment in this era. And the 5 Buddha Mandala is a different way. It's an imaginative encounter it's a different way of exploring Buddhism. Yeah, so we're in a mandala, which is there's lots of definitions of a mandala, and one way of saying it is it's a pattern organized around values or a principle. So a Buddhist mandala is a pattern of things arranged around the principle of enlightenment. And in the 5 Buddha Mandala, we've got these 5 figures arranged around the principle of enlightenment, or representing different facets of enlightenment. And it's like the Buddha Shakyamuni, the last 5 evenings or a few evenings on Friday nights, we sort of explored the life of the historical Buddha. Some of you might have been with us there. It's like a human being, even an enlightened human being, can't contain all of can't represent all of the qualities or the richness of the enlightened mind. So this 5 Buddha Mandala is like an explosion of different qualities that the Buddha Shakyamuni was in touch with and manifested. Yeah, so a mandala, when we're entering a mandala, it's almost like, the mindset I'd like to encourage is almost like opening a book of fairy tales or something like that. So I don't know if you ever watched films or things on TV when you were little, and there would be a really big kind of awesome looking book, maybe with a key, and you unlock the key and you open it, and then the pictures are alive, or the character in the story sort of falls into the fairy tale book. So it's a bit like that. It's like we're trying to move our imaginations or ignite our imaginations to go into a different realm. And this realm is a realm of colours, and it's a realm of beauty, and it's a realm of sounds. And each of the colours, each of the 5 Buddhas is represented by a different colour. So we've got blue, we've got yellow, red, green, and white. And tonight we're in the blue realm of the Buddha, Akshobya. Yeah. So the mandala is where we really realize that the teachings of the Buddha aren't just a sort of philosophy. It's not something to play around with logic, although it might have philosophical soundness for some of us who are interested in that sort of thing. We're moving into something that's more like your dream life. Yeah, so Buddhism takes dream life very, very seriously. It takes all different states of our experience very, very seriously, just as seriously as our waking life, is our dream life, is our imaginative life. And in that, with that attitude, we're going to enter the mandala, and we're going to meet the Buddha Shakyamuni. Sorry, a Buddha Akshobya. Yeah. Who's not different really from Shakyamuni. So how I want us to encounter the Buddha Akshobya? Well, I just was remembering about a month ago, sort of early July, just after midsummer, I was reading Homer's The Odyssey, and in that there's lots of descriptions of dawn. So it seems like at every event, Homer starts the little escapade by saying dawn comes early, and different ways of describing it. Dawn comes early with blushing fingers, with rosy fingers, or dawn touches the sky with roses, and this sort of pink light coming, he describes it as. And I'm not really an early riser, but I like the idea of dawn. I don't really like getting up in time for dawn, but what I did was I just set my alarm for 4:30 every morning for about a week or something like that. And sometimes I would get up, and sometimes I would just open my eyes. And it was like I just knew that there was a sacred time of day that I don't normally see, and I wanted to see it. I was interested to be part of dawn. And in summer, one has to get up really quite early to witness the dawn. So sometimes I would just lie in my bed and peek out the blind, and I could just see this pale blue light. Sometimes I would get up on the balcony, and I live in London. I live here at the London Buddhist Centre, and the city is so still at that time of day, and there's a sort of bluishness, whether it's cloudy, whether it's bright, and this is before the sun comes up. You get the light of the sun before the sun, and the world is sort of pervaded by this blue. It seems to be this blueness comes in the shadows, it comes around the forms of the buildings, it's in the sky, it's sort of intermingled with everything. So blue is the colour of the Buddha Akshobya, and dawn is the time of day of the Buddha Akshobya. So Akshobya is the first Buddha we encounter in the mandala, and his time of day, each of the Buddhas has a time of day, his time of day is dawn. And there's just so much, isn't there, to think about the poetry of all the different times of day. And for me, dawn is like this dispelling of darkness, of seeing what's really there, what was not apparent previously is now apparent because the sun is coming up. So, what a lovely image for the awakening mind. What a lovely image to accompany us in our spiritual practice as we kind of start to look at things that we haven't noticed about our own patterns and about the nature of mind. So Akshobya is this talk is called The Colour of Truth. So he's very associated with the clarity of seeing that truth is not what we decide it is, but truth is when you stare at something truly without moving, without shaking, and look at it like really unwaveringly in the eyes. Then we can start to have an idea of what truth is. And we need the light of the sun. We need this awakening, a wish to move from darkness to light, to be able to do that. Yeah. So there's this blue dawn, and this another symbol I want to talk about is, well, imagine if you woke up at dawn and this is a sort of dark blue of the night is moving into a lighter blue of the day, and then suddenly, literally like a bolt from the blue, there's a massive thunder crack and lightning, and this brilliant light just flashes, and the world's completely illuminated, and then it goes back to this softer blue of dawn. Or it might be, you think, well, was that lightning? I wasn't expecting that. Or was it something else? Or maybe it was something like being thrown like a meteor, blazing trails of fire. Maybe it was a meteor being thrown across the sky, and it's brilliant and it's shocking. And you know that this flash means that nothing is the same as it was before. And in that flash, is it your imagination, or did you see a blue figure sitting like a mountain in meditation? Did you see a dark blue man in meditation, absolutely still, absolutely smiling quietly to himself, absolutely unmoved by this flash, this brilliant flash of lightning or this meteor? And if you thought you might have seen something, well, that would have been the Buddha Akshobya. That would have been Akshobya. And that lightning flash, or maybe it wasn't lightning, or maybe it was, but perhaps it's the Buddha Akshobya wielding his magical symbol. So I'm going to introduce you now to this implement here, which is a stylized lightning bolt, or a stylized diamond scepter, would be another way to put it. And this is the Vajra. Okay, this is the Vajra. So the Vajra is what Akshobya holds in one of his hands. Yeah, and as you can see, it's quite ornate. This one, it's got 5 prongs at each end. It's symmetrical, and it's sort of got this sphere in the middle. And holding it here, it's made of metal. It's pretty heavy. It's a very satisfying thing to hold. Yes, so the Vajra is a very, very important symbol in Buddhism. It's a very, very important symbol in Buddhism. And the Vajra is sometimes described as a lightning bolt, and it's sometimes described as a diamond, as being having diamond-like qualities. So it's got these qualities of light, of brilliance, incandescence, but also diamond being one of the hardest substances. It's got this quality of immutability. And why we have a symbol of a Vajra is because one of the ways to think about the Vajra is what it represents is that 2 forces that cannot be reconciled or cannot come to any compromise. When those 2 forces meet, the energy and power that comes from it is like that of the Vajra. So the one way of thinking about it is, what happens if an unmovable force an immutable force meets an unmovable object. Yeah, two things that cannot be reckoned with anything. They meet, they collide. What happens? And that is the power of Vajra, and that's the power of the enlightened mind. So it's represented. The Vajra. We could do even a whole series of talks just on the different aspects of the Vajra. But there it is, let's say something like that. Vajra is ultimately powerful, but its power is a pure power. It cannot be ill-used. Yeah, so it's not like, I don't know, in Lord of the Rings or something, where, the rings have to be, they can either be used for good. Actually, they're sort of corrupting, aren't they? But it's not like this powerful object that if the bad people get hold of it, they'll just take over the world. It can only be wielded. Its potency is only related to the enlightened mind. It's absolutely incorruptible. So we can have faith in the Vajra. We can have faith in Vajric qualities that by practicing, by pitting our own different mental states against our values, that something creative, a creative force, can come out of it. So perhaps if you think that that it's a bit abstract to think, well, what would happen if these forces, an immovable object and an immutable force, come together? Well, that's a sort of imaginative exercise. But I was sort of reminded of a Zen story. Zen stories are always very pithy. About a Zen story about a young man who wants to join a monastery. So he's disillusioned with life. He's a bit kind of like, he just doesn't know which way to go. He's in despair, really, and he goes to try and join a monastery. And he says to the abbot of the monastery, "Oh, yeah, please let me join your monastery. I can't find meaning in my life. I want meaning. I want to join you." And the abbot says, "Well, what were you good at in your life?" And he said, "Well, I didn't really, I just dissipated my life. I haven't really paid attention to very much. I had money. My family had money, so I didn't need to earn money. The only thing I was any good at was chess." And so the abbot sets up the chessboard, and then he calls an old monk from the monastery, and he says to the monk, "Okay, play this young man at chess." And the other monks are going, "Yeah, but that guy can't. He doesn't know the rule. He barely knows how to play chess. He's rubbish." So there's a young man who's very good at chess and an old monk who's not very good at chess. And then the abbot raises the stakes. He says, the person who loses this game of chess will lose their life. Now, this abbot is not a joker. He's a man of considerable authority. So both of the players in this chess game believe the abbot, that they believe that this is a game of chess where their lives are at stake. So, of course, what do you do if you're playing a game of chess where your own life is at stake? Well, you just want to win, don't you? This is a matter of life and death. You want to save your own life. So the young man starts to play, and he finds that he's easily beating the old monk. So there's a sense of relief. He's not going to lose. He's not going to lose his life. And then he starts to realize, he sort of looks up from the chessboard and takes in the old monk. And he sees his face, he sees his eyes, he starts to feel his aliveness. And suddenly there's this tension. Rather than just thinking, all I've got to do is win, he realizes there's two life forces. Neither is more important than the other. And they're being forced to be pitted against one another in this battle of life and death. So what do you do? You can't you can't sacrifice your own life, or can you? And he starts to realize, I haven't done anything with my life. I'm just going to lose this game. So he starts making false moves and deliberately tries to lose the game. Compassion arises in him so that he can save the life of this other monk. The abbot sees him do this. He tips the board up and he says, yes, you can enter the monastery. He's seen that this young man is capable of, I want to describe it in Vajric terms. He's capable of, letting compassion be born out of his focus and concentration. But it's more than that. It's more than that. In my mind, it's an impossible situation giving rise to something extremely creative, self-sacrifice, which is the ultimate giving, the ultimate compassionate act. So I feel like that's a little way of describing how something Vajric might happen. I mean, it's not a mundane day-to-day story, but how tensions arise within us, perhaps a selfish tension and a giving tension. And if we just keep that tension really, really strong, then we can keep our mind focused on that tension, then we can give rise, creative acts that we could never dream that we would be capable of can be released. And with that is energy. So the Vajra is a symbol of huge energy. Okay, so Akshobya is this blue figure, and he is completely still in meditation. He's got this groundedness. He's got this quality of groundedness, mountain-like. And often when we're meditating, we try to use the image of a mountain to still us, to combat our own restless minds, our restless bodies. Akshobya is the embodiment of that. He's got this mountain-like grounded quality. He's got in front of him, he's got a lake with a purely smooth surface which reflects the truth, which reflects this sort of unflinching gaze of the truth. And he's got wielding this powerful object, which if we can allow forces within our own practice, within our own lives, to not be hidden and not be dissipated, not to be frittered away in foolish kind of time wasting, then we will start to find within ourselves, if we can start to discover the availability of these huge potentials within each and every person, and we start to develop Vajric-like qualities as well. So I'm going to, that's a very, very light introduction to Akshobya. There's so much more to say. He lives in a whole realm. Each of the Buddhas has got their own world. He sits on his throne in his blue world with the dawn light, just illuminating a new kind of consciousness, an awakened mind, and mind awakening from the delusion of confusion, of greed, and clinging, and that's Akshobya. So he's the first person that we meet in the mandala as we explore in our journey. I'm going to just finish with this poem once again, and then we're going to hand on to Maitreya Raja, and he's going to lead us in a ritual where we're going to be evoking Akshobya, the Buddha Akshobya, a little bit more. So this poem. Above me broods a world of mysteries and magnitudes. I see, I hear, more than what strikes the eye or meets the ear. Within me sleep potencies deep, unfathomably deep, which when awake, the bonds of life, death, time and space will break. Infinity, above me like the blue sky do I see. Below, in me, lies the reflection of infinity.
So thank you very much, Kusalasara, for beautifully introducing us and evoking the Buddha figure Akshobya. So so that's so much. Yeah, as Kusalasara was saying, so much that you can say about these Buddha figures. But I was particularly struck by hearing the story of the young dissolute man and the Buddhist monk, and his response to want to save the old monk, and the sort of the potentiality for loving kindness within every human being, which that story evoked a little bit for me. The man really wasn't in touch with that at the start of the game, but as the game progressed, something awoke in him. And I think that awakening of potentialities, which is also suggested in the puja, is something that we can really do through Buddhist practice, through meditation, through hearing teachings and stories, and also through ritual as well. So in a moment, we're going to be doing a puja, a sevenfold puja, dedicated in a way to Akshobya, evoking the Buddha figure Akshobya. But before we do that, I'm just going to say a couple of things. So I mentioned to the people who were here right at the start, how many do we have with us now, Wayne? 39 of us. Okay, so our numbers have grown. As I was saying right at the start, we've just started opening the London Buddhist Centre for the first time this week to the public from 12 till 3. And we're carrying on with our own online work as well. And in a way, at the London Buddhist Centre, we do want to do as much as possible for people. So we want to carry on the online work that we're doing, but we also want to start opening the centre more and more appropriately in due time, taking into account government guidelines around the coronavirus, and really extend our capacity to help people to grow. And in order to do that, we do need help. We need people to give their time, and we've got Wayne and Jay here. They're both giving their time. Well, in a way, we're all sort of giving our time freely in a way to put this evening on. And we also need people to give their money as well, to give us the resources to put on these kind of events. So I'd really encourage you to think about giving either your time down the line, perhaps maybe when we're more fully open, or tonight you could give money. So if you wanted to give £10 for the class, that'd be great. But anything that you can afford, just in a way, throw it into the dana bowl, make your contribution, and that will help us to really make the Buddha's teachings available both online and in due time in the centre more and more. I also want to highlight another event that we've got coming up next week. So we're going to be running an event called The Journey and the Guide, which is a course which will it's going to be sort of run over 4 weeks with 2 sessions a week on Monday and Wednesday evenings, which will really take you on a whole journey right into the very heart of Buddhism. And it's going to be led by Maitreya Bandhu, who's the author of the book Journey and the Guide, drawing on the teachings of Sangharakshita, the founder of the Triratna Buddhist Centre, the founder of this Buddhist centre, you could say, together with Stiramanas and Gauravati. And you can find out more information about that course on our online website. But do think about booking on that. It'll be a very, very stimulating, engaging course, I feel sure. And that starts on Monday, so just a couple more days to book. Okay, so now we're going to get into a different mood again. We've had meditation, we've heard a little bit of, we've heard some stories, we've heard a little bit about the Buddha figure, Akshobya. Now we're going to do a ritual together. So in a moment, Kusalasara is going to read a short piece about Akshobya to evoke the Buddha figure, and then we're going to go into the sevenfold puja. So some of you may not have done puja ritual before. It's very simple. Basically, I say a line, and then if you want to, you can say that line back. So it's done in call and response. And we're really trying to get in touch with our own deeper potentialities, with our own deeper emotionalities, and to get all those on board so that we can become bigger, we can become more loving, we can become more kind, we can become more intelligent. Yeah? So we need to really sort of integrate all of our energies, fuse all of our energies so we can be more in the world, and we can work in a collective to have a bigger be a bigger force for good in the world. So we'll do, when we've had the reading, then I'll lead us through the worship, salutation, and going for refuge sections in call and response. And then Kusalasara and I will do the refuges and precepts in unison. And some of you will know the refuges and precepts, so you just join in with those if you know them. If you don't, you can just listen. Then we'll do the confession, rejoicing, and entreaty and supplication sections in call and response. And then we'll do the transference of merits, and then we'll have the Akshobya mantra to finish. And I'm pleased to say we've got Vajra to lead us in the Akshobya mantra. So he's got a very fine voice, so he can get us off to a good start. Okay, so if you'd like to settle into your posture, and then when Kusalasara is ready, she'll begin.
When you awake, the dawn light is brightening the sky, and you can see land to the east. You steer towards it across a smooth, calm sea until eventually your raft noses forward into a gentle bay. The still waters in front of you reflect the outline of an extraordinary building. It is a palace made of crystal, with lofty windows and high towers, filigreed with sapphire. It is strongly built and battlemented with golden Vajras. Raising your eyes from the water's reflection, you look at the palace itself. Its gates are 2 huge semicircles, which mate into a full moon. They too are crystal, which reflect the water, your little craft, and you. Gazing into them, you see things as they are, in their naked, ungraspable simplicity. You see yourself in that moment without judgment, without accepting or rejecting anything. You are just another reflection in the moon gates. The gates swing open. You are entering the kingdom of the Buddha Akshobya. You are being admitted into his pure land, where everything is a reminder of the Dharma and an encouragement on the path to enlightenment. Akshobya is seated in the heart of his realm on a vast blue lotus throne, supported by 4 massive elephants. The Buddha's body is made of deep blue light, the colour of night in the tropics. He has dark hair, is dressed in flowing, richly ornamented robes, and sits in full lotus posture. His whole body radiates light. His left hand rests in his lap, totally relaxed. Standing upright on its palm is a golden Vajra. His whole figure conveys unshakable confidence. He is so rooted that nothing can ever ruffle his composure. He smiles and the land understands. The special quality he transmits is wisdom. In understanding the meaning of that gesture, all the inhabitants of his pure land become wise and enter a stage of the path to enlightenment from which there is no falling back. At his heart is a syllable made of pale blue light. It is the syllable Hum, symbol of the integration of the individual and the universal. From his heart echoes the mantra which embodies his wisdom. Its sound carries everywhere in his realm, slow and measured like the call of a great drum. Om Vajra Akshobya Om.
Sevenfold Puja. Firstly, worship. With Mandala, blue lotus and jasmine. With all flowers pleasing and fragrant.
With all flowers pleasing and fragrant.
And with garlands skillfully woven.
And with garlands skillfully woven.
I pay honour to the princes of the sages.
I pay honour to the princes of the sages.
So worthy of veneration.
So worthy of veneration.
I envelop them in clouds of incense.
I envelop them in clouds of incense.
Sweet and penetrating.
Sweet and penetrating.
I make them offerings of food hard and soft.
I make them offerings of food hard and soft.
And pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
And pleasing kinds of liquids to drink.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels.
I offer them lamps encrusted with jewels.
Festooned with golden lotus.
Festooned with golden lotus.
On the pavings sprinkled with perfume.
On the pavings sprinkled with perfume.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
I scatter handfuls of beautiful flowers.
Salutation. As many atoms as there are.
As many atoms as there are.
In the 1,000 million worlds.
In the 1,000 million worlds.
So many times I make reverent salutation.
So many times I make reverent salutation.
To all the Buddhas of the 3 eras.
To all the Buddhas of the 3 eras.
To the Saddhamma.
To the Saddhamma.
And to the excellent community.
And to the excellent community.
I pay homage to all the shrines.
I pay homage to all the shrines.
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
and places in which the Bodhisattvas have been.
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
I make profound obeisance to the teachers
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
and those to whom respectful salutation is due.
Going for refuge. This very day,
This very day,
I go for my refuge
I go for my refuge
to the powerful protectors
to the powerful protectors,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
whose purpose is to guard the universe,
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
the mighty conquerors who overcome suffering everywhere.
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
Wholeheartedly also I take my refuge
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
in the Dharma they have ascertained,
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
which is the abode of security against the rounds of rebirth.
Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas,
Likewise in the host of bodhisattvas,
I take my refuge.
I take my refuge.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatyampi buddhang saranang gacchami. Tatyampi dhammang saranang gacchami. Tatyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu mechachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Suramerya majja pamadatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With deeds of loving kindness, I purify my body. With open-handed generosity, I purify my body. With stillness, simplicity, and contentment, I purify my body. With truthful communication, I purify my speech. With mindfulness clear and radiant, I purify my mind. Confession of faults. The evil that I have heaped up through my ignorance and foolishness, evil in the world of everyday experience, as well as evil in understanding and intelligence, all that I acknowledge to the protectors, standing before them, with hands raised in reverence, and terrified of suffering, I pay salutations again and again. May the leaders receive this kindly, just as it is with its many faults. What is not good, O protectors, I shall not do again. Rejoicing in merit. I rejoice with delight in the good done by all beings, through which they obtain rest, with the end of suffering. May those who have suffered be happy. I rejoice in the release of beings from the sufferings of the rounds of existence. I rejoice in the nature of the Bodhisattva and the Buddha, who are protectors. I rejoice in the arising of the will to enlightenment and the teaching, those oceans that bring happiness to all beings, and are the abode of welfare of all beings. Entreaty and supplication. Saluting them with folded hands, I entreat the Buddhas in all the quarters. May they make shine the lamp of the Dhamma. For those wandering in the suffering of delusion. With hands folded in reverence. I implore the conquerors desiring to enter nirvana. May they remain here for endless ages. So that life in this world does not grow dark. So I'm just going to read a wisdom teaching now. The Bodhisattva of compassion, when he meditated deeply, saw the emptiness of all five skandhas and sundered the bonds that caused him suffering. Here then, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is only emptiness, emptiness only form. Feeling, thought and choice, consciousness itself are the same as this. All things are by nature void. They are not born or destroyed, nor are they stained or pure, nor do they wax or wane. So, in emptiness, no form, no feeling, thought or choice, nor is there consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No colour, sound, smell, taste, touch, or what the mind takes hold of. Nor even act of sensing. No ignorance or end of it, nor all that comes of ignorance. No withering, no death, no end of them. Nor is there pain or cause of pain, or cease in pain, or noble path to lead from pain. Not even wisdom to attain. Attainment too is emptiness. So know that the Bodhisattva, holding to nothing whatever, but dwelling in prajna wisdom, is freed of delusive hindrance, rid of the fear bred by it, and reaches clearest nirvana. All Buddhas of past and present, Buddhas of future time, using this prajna wisdom, come to full and perfect vision. Hear then the great dharani, the radiant peerless mantra, the prajna paramita, whose words allay all pain. Hear and believe its truth. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, uri swaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, buddhi swaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasangate, buddhi swaha. Transference of merit and self-surrender. May the merit gained
May the merit gained
in my acting thus
go
to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
to the alleviation of the suffering of all beings.
My personality throughout my existences,
My personality throughout my existences,
my possessions, and my merit in all three ways,
and my merit in all three ways.
I give up without regard to myself,
I give up without regard to myself,
for the benefit of all beings,
for the benefit of all beings.
just as the earth and other elements
Just as the earth and other elements
are serviceable in many ways
are serviceable in many ways
to the infinite number of beings
to the infinite number of beings
inhabiting limitless space,
inhabiting limitless space.
so may I become
So may I become
that which maintains all beings,
that which maintains all beings,
situated throughout space,
situated throughout space,
so long as all have not attained
so long as all have not attained
to peace.
to peace. Om Vajra Akshobya Hum. Om Vajra Akshobya Hum. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya.
Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya Om. Om Vajra Akshobya. Om Vajra Akshobya. Okay, so that brings our evening of practice together to an end. So really, really good to be practicing with you all over the world. I hope you found it an enjoyable and stimulating evening. So thanks to Kusalasara and Vajra, and to our tech team, Wayne and Jay. And really wish you well for the weekend and the week ahead. And next week at this class, we're going to be exploring the five Buddha Mala a little bit further. And I'm going to be introducing you to evoking the Buddha figure Ratnasambhava. So I'll say more next week. Go well.